Hello, welcome to Storytime with Grandma. We've got a very special story today. We've got The Lion King, and we've got our special little friend, Leopard, come to read with us. Okay, now it's a very long story, so I hope you're sitting comfortably. Are you ready to begin? The hot African sun rose on an amazing sight. Giraffes, zebras, elephants and animals of all kinds were gathered at Pride Rock. This was an important day. King Mufasa and Queen Sarabi watched as Rafiki, the wise baboon, presented their newborn son to the kingdom. The animals cheered and bowed before Prince Simba. But one family member didn't attend the celebration, Mufasa's brother Scar. He was angry that he was no longer next in line to be king. Mufasa and his assistant Zazu went to ask Scar why he had missed the presentation of Simba. "Oh, it must have slipped my mind," Scar sneered, and he walked away. Simba grew into a playful and curious cub. Early one morning, Mufasa brought Simba to the top of Pride Rock. "Everything that the light touches is our kingdom," he told his son. "One day the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king." "Wow," cried Simba, "but what about that shadowy place?" "You must never go across the border, Simba," said Mufasa sternly. "But I thought a king can do whatever he wants," said Simba. Mufasa explained, "There's more to being king than getting your own way all the time. You need to respect all creatures. We are all connected in the great circle of life." Simba tried to listen, but he was busy chasing grasshoppers and practicing his pounce. Just then, Zazu arrived with important news. Hyenas had crossed into the Pride Lands. Mufasa ordered Zazu to take Simba home, and the king ran off to battle the hyenas. "I never get to go anywhere," Simba complained. Back at home, Simba went to see his uncle Scar. "My dad just showed me the whole kingdom," the cub bragged, "and I'm going to rule it all." "Did he show you the place beyond the border?" asked Scar slyly. "Only the bravest of lions would dare to go to an elephant graveyard." Simba didn't see his uncle's evil trap. He decided to show his father what a brave cub he could be. Simba set out to find his best friend Nala. She was lying with their mothers on a rock nearby. "Mom, can Nala and I go to this great place near the waterhole?" lied Simba. "As long as Zazu goes with you," answered Sarabi. "We've got to ditch Zazu," Simba whispered to Nala. We're really going to an elephant graveyard." Simba and Nala laughed as they ran in and out of animal herds to escape from Zazu. "We lost him," cried Nala. Together they played, tumbling and rolling. With a thump they landed next to a huge elephant skull. Zazu caught up with them, but it was too late. They heard sinister voices laughing from inside the elephant skull. Banzai, Shenzi and Ed, 3 drooling hyenas with sharp teeth, climbed out menacingly. Soon Simba, Nala and Zazu were surrounded. The hyenas grabbed Zazu first. "Why don't you pick on someone your own size?" shouted Simba. Then one tried to catch Nala, but Simba swiped his claws across the hyena's cheek. Suddenly a tremendous roar shook the ground. It was Mufasa. His giant paw struck one of the hyenas as he growled, "If you ever come near my son again." The hyenas ran away before he could finish. Mufasa scolded his son on the way home. "You disobeyed me, Simba." "I was just trying to be brave like you, Dad," said Simba softly. Being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble, replied Mufasa. Then Mufasa told Simba how the kings of the past looked down on them from the stars above. They will always be there to guide you, and so will I. Scar was angry when the hyenas told him that Simba had escaped, but he quickly came up with a new plan to get rid of Simba and his father. I will be king, he cried. The next day, Scar found Simba. Your father has a surprise for you, he said. Scar led Simba down a steep gorge and told him to wait there. Then Scar signalled to the hyenas to frighten a herd of wildebeest. The panicked animals stampeded right towards Simba. Hearing the thunder of hooves, Mufasa looked into the gorge and saw his son. He leapt down and saved Simba's life. Simba was safe, but Mufasa was still in danger. As he tried to climb away from the stampede, the rocks crumbled beneath him. Struggling up the cliff, Mufasa saw Scar. Brother, help me, he cried. Scar dug his claws deep into Mufasa's paws and whispered, Long live the king. Then he let Mufasa go and watched him disappear beneath the herd below. Simba had seen that his father had fallen. When the stampede was gone, Simba ran to Mufasa. He tried to wake him, but the Lion King was dead. Help! Cried Simba. Scar came to Simba's side. If it wasn't for you, he said, your father would still be alive. Run away and never return. Heartbroken, poor Simba ran away as fast as he could. Scar sent the hyenas out to kill Simba, but the cub escaped them once more. Scar was certain that Simba was dead. He went back to Pride Rock and told everyone the news. It is with a heavy heart, he lied, that I become your new king. Everyone in the Pride lands mourned for their beloved King Mufasa and Simba. Meanwhile, Simba wasn't far away from the Pride lands. The ground turned dry and cracked beneath him. The hot sun beat down as vultures circled above his head. Exhausted and unable to go any further, Simba slumped down to the ground. After a long while, Simba awoke. Everything around him looked different. There were trees and grass and flowers instead of desert. A meerkat named Timon and warthog named Pumbaa had brought him into their home. You nearly died, said Pumbaa. We saved you, cried Timon. Thanks for your help, said Simba, but I have to go now. Simba stood up and started to leave. Where are you going? Asked Timon. Nowhere, replied Simba sadly. Pumbaa asked Simba where he was from, but Simba didn't want to answer. I did something terrible, but I don't want to talk about it. You gotta put your troubles behind you, kid, said Timon. No past, no future, no worries. Hakuna Matata. Simba decided to stay with his new friends. Years passed and Simba grew into a young lion. One night, while looking up at the stars, Simba remembered his father's words. Someone once told me that the great kings of the past are up there watching over us, he said to his friends. The next day, Pumbaa was chasing a bug when a fierce lioness sprang at him from the tall grass. He screamed and ran away, but got stuck beneath a fallen tree. She's gonna eat me, he squealed. Simba heard his friends' cries and rushed to help. Simba wrestled with the lioness, but then realised she was his old friend Nala. You're alive, she said happily. That means you're the king. Nala told Simba how Scar had destroyed the Pride lands. Simba, if you don't do something, everyone will starve. I can't go back, said Simba angrily, and he turned and walked away. Simba thought about what Nala had said. I won't go back, he said to himself. It won't change anything. Just then, Simba heard a chanting song from the jungle. Rafiki the baboon came walking towards him. If you want to see your father again, look down there, Rafiki said, pointing into the pool of water next to them. Simba saw the face of his father staring back at him. You see, said Rafiki, he lives in you. Now Simba looked up and saw his father's face in the stars and heard his voice. Look inside yourself, Simba. Remember who you are. You are my son, and you are the one true king. The next morning, Rafiki found Nala, Timon and Pumbaa. He told them that Simba had returned to the Pride Lands. He's gone back to challenge his uncle, cheered Nala. When Simba reached the Pride Lands, he was saddened by what he saw. His homeland that was once green and beautiful had turned barren under Scar's rule. Bravely, Simba continued on his journey. When Simba arrived at Pride Rock, he let out a roar that shook the earth. Roar! Scar was surprised and frightened. He thought the hyenas had killed Simba long ago. This is my kingdom, shouted Simba. Step down, Scar. Scar ordered his hyenas to attack. They surrounded Simba and drove him to the edge of a cliff. Simba grabbed onto the rocks with his claws as Scar stood above him. That's the way your father looked before I killed him, snarled Scar. Then Simba realised that it had been Scar who killed his father. With new strength, Simba lunged onto the rock and attacked. At that moment, Nala, Timon and Pumbaa arrived and a battle broke out on Pride Rock. This time, Simba trapped Scar at the steep edge of Pride Rock. He spared his uncle's life but ordered him to run away and never return. Scar pretended to leave but then turned and lunged at Simba. The young lion swiped his great claw and Scar fell to his death in the gorge below. Simba had triumphed and took his rightful place as the Lion King. The rains came and once again the land flourished. In time, all the animals gathered at Pride Rock to celebrate the birth of Simba and Nala's cub. The circle of life would continue. And that's the end of the story about the Lion King. Wasn't that a really exciting story and really happy ending? Yeah, what did you two think? Oh yes, they thought it was a really exciting story too. Okay, time for bed. Night night, sleep tight. See you again soon. Bye. Bye.